Bills fans, I'm not even going to attempt to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you a white lie. I'm not going to tell you a partial lie. The truth is, this was likely the worst season y'all will have in the last 5 years.
Shut up the Bills! It's a house flag! It's a house flag!
Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, Bills, mafia, yeah. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Homie, now listen. Everyone play their position. Buffalo got a tradition. They say we tripping. They better get out our way. Top of the table, we flipping. We on a mission. Got an unstoppable team. Continue to follow your dream by any means. Buffalo, get in the Super Bowl ring. Cause we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, Bills, mafia, yeah. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Mafia up in your city, time to get gritty. Screaming and yelling, we bugging. Look at the red and blue.
This is an MVP year for Josh Allen. As an MVP voter, I said this last week. Josh Allen, he looks like an MVP. When you vote for MVP, and I can speak for myself, I think I'm one of 50 voters, you look at a couple things. Who's the best team in football? Who's the best player on that team in football? What do they look like as the best player on that team in football? And how much talent is around that best player on that best team in football?
And a good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Coast to Coast podcast. I am your co-host, Beyond 716, and back in the saddle in our normal times, both of us, Whittle 2K. We are here. How are you today? Or this evening, I should say.
Amazing.
Doing great, right?
Yeah, I mean, what a game. What a win. You know?
What an amazing performance. All in all, kind of the formula we were hoping for, right? Josh Allen being Josh Allen, you spoke about it a lot, about how he needs to be like he was against Kansas City, and kind of matched what he said in this press conference. And the defense coming up with the timely plays that we know this team can do. We know what they can do. I mean, yeah, at times it's not always pretty, but they find ways to get it done in the big spot. And off to Denver we go.
Yeah. This is the matchup that I've been looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
From a standpoint, I think we match up very well with this team. They are a very good team. Don't get me wrong. They're the number one seed in the AFC. I think them and Seattle share the best record in the NFL this year, 14-3. So yeah, I think it's a really good team that we're going against. Their calling card has been defense all year. They make timely plays offensively. They have a young quarterback in Bo Nix. They've got some young players that they kind of depend on offense. Obviously, it's Bo Nix, but you have RJ Harvey, who's got like seven or eight touchdowns this year. At running back his rookie year. Troy Franklin has emerged as a really solid contributor in the wide receiver group. And then you have I think we added the same file, but it's all good.
Oh, we did. Okay. All right, we're both on it today because that is one of the big themes of the week, and we will share why that is shortly. So
yeah. It's just I think this is an excellent matchup for us. I think we get an opportunity to put our strength against against a team that may not necessarily be able to match us from a physicality standpoint. They are a fast defense. They are a very sound defense, but they aren't a very big defense. So I think the Bills. I think the Bills get an opportunity to go in and maybe. I don't want to say play bully ball, but really establish the ground game and kind of give Josh Allen an opportunity to uh, get a little help from his friends this week versus
Mhm.
last week he kind of had to. The run game didn't get to where we wanted it to go, so he had to uh, he had to kind of put the cape on.
Yep.
I want to give a lot of credit to the Jacksonville Jaguars as a team. I did think the Buffalo Bills would be able to run the football effectively. They were not. I
Mhm.
mean, um, I do think that we did a good job of continuing to utilize the run, but those guys don't miss a lot of tackles. They're very, very fast. Um, their interior, while it is a little smaller, it's on the smaller side. They are extremely strong up front. Like their front four, extremely strong. Um,
Mhm.
from Joshua Hines Allen to Eric Armstead to Trayvon Walker. Those guys are extremely strong. Those linebackers are sideline to sideline. They were very good. Um, and the safeties come down and they play very physical as well. Antonio Johnson and those guys, they did a very good job defensively. I was very out. I mean, I was impressed, but I was like annoyed at the same time because that
Mhm.
game was a game that could have gone either way. And I'm glad it went. I'm
Absolutely.
glad it came out. I'm glad it came out the way it came out, and I'm glad it went in our direction.
Absolutely. I mean, that was a 13-win team we beat on the road, right? Well, I mean, that's our first road win in the playoffs in 33 years as a franchise. I do think that is something in terms of a psychological boost to this current iteration of the Buffalo Bills. I think that is going to help them going forward. I think getting that first playoff win, getting that taste of winning on the road in such, in that format is only going to carry us forward because we do know how hard it is to win three straight road games in the playoffs, and it's something the Buffalo Bills are absolutely going to have to do after the Chargers lost to New England. So that officially closed Highmark. Sad face, but it did. But needless to say, I do think getting that, just a feeling that locker room and just being able to go. I mean, again, Jacksonville isn't a place known for a strong home field advantage like a Denver. That's going to be a little bit different. That's another little challenge that the Bills are going to have this week. I mean, that is a raucous stadium. It's a tough place to play for a lot of reasons. So, but yeah, but what a great team win it was, right? I mean, Josh Allen was. I mean, what could we say about Josh's performance, right? And it was legendary to me in terms of the Bills. Maybe he didn't throw for 400 yards, but just the accuracy and just the cadence he had was just unbelievable this game. And he carried the ball 11 times. I mean, Cook was only 15 to 46, but I like the fact that they stuck with it, Whittle. I think that was good that they still tried to run the football. And shout out to Khalil Shakir, 12 catches, 12 targets, by the way. So perfect 12 of 12 for 82 yards. Khalil doing Khalil things. So we'll see if he can maybe do a little bit more down the middle this week against a much more suspect Denver linebacking group than the Jacksonville Jaguars have a much better unit than the Denver Broncos. I think we would both agree.
Yeah, I think overall, I mean, even though statistically, from a ranking standpoint or whatever, um, the Jags don't match up with what Denver statistically looks like. I mean, from a statistic standpoint, Denver is one of the best. I just added up. Let me pull their rankings back up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, defensively, like these guys, they're fourth in points per game, 18.3. They're second in yards per game. Um, they're second in opponent third down conversion. First in opponent red zone scoring percentage. So they're very good. They're second. They're second. Third against yards per rush.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fifth in
Absolutely.
rushing touchdowns allowed. second in yards per game allowed on the ground. I mean, they are statistically one of the best defenses in the league. They're second in yards per pass, um, seventh in yards per game from the pass. They're first in sack percentage. Like this is a very very sound defense statistically, but the difference is the game is not played on paper; it's played on the field, and um, the Buffalo Bills have a distinct size advantage from in the trenches when it comes to our offensive line and their defensive line. We have a big we have a big advantage up front. Um, so I'm looking forward to utilizing six offensive linemen. Dan Orlovsky brought that up. He said in a tweet, he was saying that teams that utilize six offensive linemen the most win games. Like so, use it. And we have a guy in Alec Anderson who has played that position, in years past when Dawson Knox has been hurt and before we drafted Jackson Hawes. I don't think that should change. Like, now that we have Spencer Brown, now that we have Jackson Hawes and we have Dawson Knox healthy, doesn't mean Alec Anderson doesn't need to see the field. Put him on the field. Let's run duo with him and one of those tight ends and seal off the edge and get and get our backs up the field for big plays. I watched some of Denver games today. I watched them play against I watched their Green Bay game and I watched their game against the Jaguars. What I walked away with was, outside zone. If we're gonna attack the edges, this is the game to do it. Okay.
And there's our friend Kevin Massari dropping some great numbers there, and it kind of backs up what you're saying about those games you just watched. Because those are two.
What he's saying is that overall the Broncos defense from a season long standpoint has been really good, but the last 6 weeks of the season that defense is tampered down a bit. I would look at it and say, maybe it's from it could be because Drake Greenlaw's been in and out of the lineup with some injuries. It could be that. It could be other things like maybe an elevated level of competition that they've played. It could be a number of things, turnover, whatever. But Denver's faced 6 of the 12, six top 12 offenses. 4 win that. They played tougher. They played tougher offenses during that time frame. And again, listen, to back up what Kevin's saying, I watched them against Green Bay. Green Bay's got a great offense. They had a difficult time stopping Green Bay. Jordan Love, for whatever reason, I mean, this guy throws the ball off his back foot every two or three plays. I don't understand it, but I mean, he gets completions out of it. He was hitting guys downfield, man. I mean, there were guys who were running free. Josh Jacobs had a few chunk plays on the ground. He had a 40-yard touchdown. I mean, they threw him a wheel route touchdown over Greenlaw, where he just kind of mossed them. And outside of a couple of sketchy calls and inopportune ball bounces in that Jags game. That Jags game, it ended up being 34-20, but that game was a lot closer when you sit down and actually watch it. So when they have played tougher offenses and tougher opponents, Denver's shown the propensity to be not really match on field what they look like on paper. So hoping that's the same way come Sunday. I look forward to Buffalo going in there as a top 5 offense and the best pass defense, one of the top pass defenses in the league. I think we're second in pass defense. So looking for us to go in there and kind of establish ourselves as who we are. Like
Absolutely.
We're one of the better teams in the league. Teams need to start recognizing that and understand that, hey, listen, we here too. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? It may not look great on paper all the time, and even on the field, we will give up chunk runs from here and there, but when the rubber meets the road, these guys make plays on the
Yep.
defensive side, and as long as we continue to produce offensively, I think we're a team that can continue to keep to keep getting the opportunity to play next weekend. So
Yep.
every week that's the goal. The goal is to get an opportunity to play next weekend. So
Mm-hmm.
Denver's in a way right now, and
Yep.
hopefully we earn an opportunity to play the winner of the Texans and the Patriots.
Yep, and that's something we'll make our picks later in the podcast for all 4 games this weekend. I mean, obviously, this is one of the best weekends in my mind of sports. These 4 games this weekend, Whittle. I look forward to this almost more than the Super Bowl. Forget just as a Bills fan. I'm just talking in general of football. These games, yeah, the final 8, it to me is always a special weekend. But what's interesting about Denver is too about those last 6 games that Kevin's talking about. They played the Kansas City Chiefs with their 3rd string quarterback the last week, which sort of inflated some of those numbers for them in those final 6 weeks as well. So it's not like they sat all their starters the last week and gave up 50 points or anything or got grilled. So that adds even more context to me to those numbers. My first thought when I see Denver, Whittle, you know what? They remind me of a poor man's Kansas City Chiefs from last year, right? 14 wins. How did they do it? I mean, they beat the Jets 11-9. They beat the Raiders by 1 point. They beat the Raiders 10-7. They beat Washington 27-26. They got some ugly wins on their schedule. Oh, I'm sorry. They played Kansas City and they played the Chargers, who said everybody. I apologize. They played Kansas City with their backups and the Chargers. So that's 2 games. I mean, now they do have some impressive wins too on the road. They won in Philly and they won in Houston against very rugged defenses in tough places to win. So they've had a lot of close games. They only beat Tennessee by 8, they were just abysmal this year, right? So you look at them, and the one thing that I'll say that maybe I wouldn't even say scares me, Whittle, but the one thing I feel like they're comfortable being uncomfortable, meaning they've been in these close games all year. So if they're in a close game versus Jacksonville, who was blowing a lot of teams out, right? And once they got in that close game, I feel like we had the edge. This week, maybe not as much in that case because of who the coach is on the other side, Sean Payton, and the fact that they've been playing in these close games all year. I think we're comfortable in that as well. I just think, that's the one thing about this team that just gives me some, I wouldn't say pause, but just some concern in that case. I'd really like to see the Bills come out and play fast and play with the lead in a situation against a team like Denver versus trying to get them in a scrap, where it's a ugly game, 16-15 or something like that, because they're comfortable in those situations.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the same page with you, man. The difference is it's one thing to play a tough game or have a tough, a tough tight situation in a game with in the regular season, but at the same time, this is the playoffs and a tough game, week 13 against the Steelers. I mean, for lack of a better team, like I'm just grabbing the team. That's a little different than staring down, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills on the other side of the field for a game that could, means win or go home. That's different. It's different when I got another regular season game coming up the next week. If we lose, we can just, we can, we can react to what we failed at and kind of learn from it and apply those things to the following week. There is no following week. You lose Saturday, it's lock or clean out. So I expect the Bills to conduct themselves accordingly, going into a hostile environment and to really play Buffalo Bills football. Like some of the things that we've seen over the last few years in the playoffs. I
Mhm.
will say this: the tone and the tenor of this game is different than it was last year. This is, obviously year 2 of Buffalo, Denver playoff matchup. I wouldn't say it's a rivalry, um, but you're playing a team again that is, essentially trying to establish itself as a Super Bowl contender. Now,
Mhm.
I'm not saying that I'm sure Denver fans believe that they're a Super Bowl caliber team. Whether we as Bills fans believe that, or whether the national media believes that is another thing. But um, they definitely have they definitely have some great areas of that team that you would look at and say, yeah, that's good enough to compete for a Super Bowl. But at the same time, um, but at the same time, I just don't feel like uh, I just don't feel like Denver they like they haven't been on this stage yet. Like, this is a different stage. Yeah, I saw
Mhm.
that comment that threw me off for a little second too. But I think Denver hasn't been on this stage, right? And
Mhm.
this is the stage that Josh has kind of created for himself,
Yep.
right? With these matchups every single year with Patrick Mahomes, and you got 2 games against uh, Lamar Jackson in the playoffs that thankfully have gone our way. Uh,
Mhm.
Matchup with Burrow in that game, and I mean his resume in the playoffs is crazy. It's first in yards per game, first in touchdowns,
Mhm.
first in rushing yards for a quarterback in the playoffs. Like, and these are among the greats. Like,
Yep.
first in yards per game
Yep.
among the greats, all of them, you
Mhm.
know. I mean, I think he's like 6th in total playoff touchdowns by quarterback already. So I mean, like, these are areas where, like, I just think playoffs are high leverage games, but a playoff game against Josh Allen and the a playoff game against a Josh Allen led team is a little different. A playoff game against a Patrick Mahomes led team, it's a little different. Like, when you're
Mhm.
facing one of the elites, it's a little different, man.
Yep.
But listen,
I mean, how many games could we really sit here and say? I mean, Josh has played what 14 playoff games in his career. How many games can we really say he just really wasn't at least playing at a B level? Maybe 2. Maybe right. I mean, maybe the Miami game and the really
just
that
that
whole
year,
playoffs that
that
whole
whole
playoff
playoff run,
year.
the Miami game, yeah.
Yeah, we just weren't quite right. I think that if I remember correctly, I think Josh had half of his turnovers in his career in the playoffs in that
Hmm.
single game. He had 3, so
Yeah.
he's got 6
Mhm.
um, in that case. So I don't anticipate that Josh Allen would be the reason. Just to answer our question in the chat, would he find a way to lose? I would be very surprised. And I'm not trying to be, we're not trying to be super arrogant because I do respect the opponent we're playing. I just don't expect Josh Allen to be the reason, based on history, that he would be the reason. I think Denver would have to go out and win this game. In that case, Bo Nix would make big plays, or or maybe special teams makes a big play, or in general, or maybe they just totally throttle James Cook and it forces us. I don't anticipate Josh Allen being very, very off in this game as being the reason that we go home on Saturday. That just to answer that
Yeah.
question.
And I just was bringing up, like, how the tenor of this year is a little different, because last year you had the Denver Broncos fans saying week 17, like, bring on Buffalo, and they ended
Yep.
up getting Buffalo in the first round, and I mean they
Yep.
came to Highmark. Um,
Hmm.
we blew them out 31-7. I mean, I think they were in a red zone twice after halftime
Hmm.
and got no points out of it. So I mean, it was utter domination last year. The 24-point win, and I think the fan base, I think that fan base kind of learned a little bit from last year. So the the rhetoric and the trash talk has not been as loud. It's been more of, hey, nobody believes in us. Let's go prove them wrong. Let's show them that we belong here. It's been that type of thing. And I'm going to highlight this comment from one of our listeners on YouTube. And I appreciate you popping up. Clearly, you're a
Thank
Broncos
you.
fan. Listen, man. I mean, you're here. Like and subscribe, bro. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
We do like to invite other fans to come and pay attention and talk football with us. But the comment says from King Junior. Or I'm not doing all of that.
387.
387.
Yeah.
387. All that.
Good job,
Yeah,
Little. You did better than I
thanks
would.
for popping in. I think Josh Allen finds a way to lose the game rather than win it. What do you guys think? I think if the plan is Josh Allen loses the game versus the other quarterback being Bo Nix finding a way to win it, or Josh Allen finding a way to lose the game, that just wouldn't make a lot of sense based on these numbers. I mean, Josh Allen's got 35 touchdowns between passing and rushing to 6 turnovers in all of his playoff games. And despite having excellent numbers in the wild card, his numbers in the divisional round are impressive as well. I mean, again, outside of, I think the Ravens game last year, he didn't have to do a ton because there were some turnovers and we ran the ball. We ran the ball very effectively last year. His numbers against Kansas City have been pretty good. And I mean, that's really been all the divisional round games have been Kansas City and Baltimore pretty much. So I mean, outside of that, I mean, listen, his numbers are solid. I'm gonna put those numbers together in just the divisional round only and see what we come up with. But look, if you're hoping on Josh Allen to lose the game for you guys, I don't see it happening. He doesn't really turn the ball
Odds
over.
are not very good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you think that the Broncos are going to be able to play zone the entire game and confuse Josh Allen, that's not happening. It is what it is, man. I mean, this year Josh Allen's EPA against his efficiency numbers against zone coverage are through the roof. I think he's like
He's a demon.
completion.
Yeah, he's a demon
like,
against zone. Yeah.
It's dumb this shit. And then if you play man, he's liable to take off and run on you. So it's a tough task to ask anybody to defend, especially if James Cook is running the football. Well, the offensive line is getting pushed up front. Like, you could really be in for a long day. Yes, somebody brought up the injury report. It's pretty long. Yeah, it is. Some of those guys are on IR. I know Tyrell Shavers is on IR. Gabe Davis is now on IR as well. But Curtis Samuel is coming back. Obviously, Keon Coleman is active again. So the receivers that we're looking at now, Brandon Cooks, Khalil Shakir, obviously those guys. Keon Coleman, Curtis Samuel, and I'm sure that Miko Harmon will get a call up so we can get a little juice on that punt return. And a little juice on with him on the field, it's being another guy that can stretch the field and make plays in a variety of ways. Like, the guy can take an end around and score. He can take a screen pass and get upfield, or he can just run by in coverage and stretch your back end. Pause. He can stretch the back end of the defense and really present himself as a downfield threat, which will then open up things in the intermediate and underneath for Josh Allen to find guys in space to make plays. So,
Whittle, something crazy. I just went to Our Lads. I go there a lot for our depth chart. We currently only have 3 wide receivers showing on the offense at this moment in time, just to illustrate. That's the one thing that, listen, it is a concern. I wanted to ask you, do you think that we do activate off of our practice squad I'm trying to think of his name right now. Who's that wide receiver that we
Christian
have?
Wilkerson.
Wilkerson, thank you. It was right on in my head, and I just lost it. Christian Wilkerson. Do you think he gets
I
a
don't
look
think
this
so.
week?
No, I don't think so. I think Miko Hardman gets the call up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think ends
Go
up
with the
getting the call up.
experience in this situation, right?
Yeah, the experience, not just the experience, but um, we like to throw those screen passes, and I distinctly remember a game where the Kansas City Chiefs threw a screen pass to Miko Hardman on 3rd and long,
Mm-hmm.
and he took that thing down to about the 7-yard line. I mean, he took a screen pass almost 50 yards down the field, and so yeah, I think Miko Hardman ends up getting the call up, and among that, I mean, we still have some other issues as far as on defense. Maxwell Harrison still not practicing. Ty Johnson still not practicing, and what's his name? Jordan Poyer still not practicing. But before we get into the injury report and things like that, uh, just what were your thoughts on the performance from the game against the Jags?
I thought it was it was a kind of game, how sometimes us Bills fans, how we could be neurotic, we could be negative at times. I had a very calm collective feeling just about the way this game went. I do think, the challenge by McDermott on the 4th down was a huge part of the game. And, he did a good job. I think overall, shout out to Sean McDermott. Again, he takes a lot of heat, even sometimes from me and all of us, once in a while. But, 8 playoff wins on his resume. Now he's a road playoff win. Had this team ready. We've had a lot of adversity this year in terms of injuries, but he always has his team ready to go. Again, just Josh played a very mature type of game that we've been, calling for, especially you, right, on this, and what leads to some of our woes in the middle of the season. And we have locked in Josh right now. Like, I have that confidence. Like we said, I don't think he's going to be a problem. Defensively, I mean, shout out to Shaq Thompson. I mean, Shaq Thompson has just been, what a pickup he's been. A lot of people look to him as, he's another guy we got from Carolina. It's just the Brandon B thing. Well, no, not exactly. Shaq Thompson's a player, folks. Matt Milano's flying over the field. Deion Walker, solid as ever. Group made some nice plays. Bosa still drives you crazy at times, but, he has a skill set. We're hoping that Bosa could just make that play. Wait, Riddle, like almost like when we got Von Miller, but maybe different. That when maybe that big sack late in the game, that big play. If he does that, all's forgiven on his faults, right? So we have that, and shout out to Tyrell Shavers for playing 29 plays on a ACL tear. I mean, unbelievable, right? Feel bad for him and Gabe Davis. Hope they get better, come back strong next year. But we press forward. Overall, and I know you're gonna love this one, Whittle. How about Trey White, folks? Trey White. I see that's right there. That's all it took to say Trey White. Just to see him play the way he's playing right now at 30, after all the adversity he's gone through with all the injuries, I absolutely love it. The confidence is there, going forward. Cole Bishop again making big plays. Just again, it was just a great overall team win against a very talented roster on the road that, they played well. I think Jacksonville played well this game. That's the interesting part. I don't think the rest weren't very kind to us. I mean, that absurd call before halftime. I mean, they should have never got the kickoff. And imagine if they made that kick, what that could have done for that game, right? So hopefully the league looks at that going forward. But overall, I just love the response. I just didn't see any panic in this team. And that throw to Brandon Cooks, I mean, was just, I mean, it just makes your jaw drop. Which one? Yeah, there's a few of them, right? Yeah. That's true. Yeah. That's very fair. But just overall, just a fabulous team win on the road. I mean, we felt this was going to be a close game. I did anyway, for sure. So I really wasn't even surprised when they were down late in the game. I said, hey, this is what Josh is paid to do. If Josh wants to be great, if Josh wants to take it to that, I mean, I think it's just him and Mahomes at this point. I don't care what anybody says. I don't want to hear, Lamar's not in the playoffs. Well, we're 2-0 against Lamar, so try again. So having said that, there's just so much to be excited for going forward. I just think psychologically we've seen this in sports where teams have hurdles and things to get over. I think Buffalo got over a big hurdle this week. winning a game on the road. And I think hopefully we'll take that forward, going through Denver and either in Houston or New England next week.
Yeah, listen, there was I think, so my thoughts on the game, and I want to preface this with, this is not just my thoughts on the game, but this is also my thoughts on the national media narrative around this team. I think this game came down to the quarterback, right? Josh Allen takes the field down 3 points or 4 points or whatever, and it's late in the game. I think there's like 4 or 5 minutes left in the game or whatever. Drives the team down the field, scores a touchdown with about a minute to go. Trevor Lawrence gets the opportunity to have a legacy stamp, a drive to stamp his legacy, and first pass play throws an interception. What was it his fault? Absolutely not. Were there other options available for him? Absolutely. Should he have taken some of those other options? Probably. But it happens the way it happens for a reason. Offensively, I thought that James Cook was a little. I do think that we attempted to run the football. I think not having Ty Johnson hurts his offense more than more than he gets credit for his importance. I also thought that we were a little thin at running back because Ray Davis took a major hit on a kickoff return where he fumbled the football, giving Jacksonville excellent field position. But not having Ray Davis as well, I thought that took a little punch out of our ability to run the football, and coupled with the way Jacksonville was playing defense. So give them a ton of credit. But with that being said, like let's give these wide receivers, the much maligned wide receiver group, let's give them credit. Khalil Shakir, 12 targets, 12 receptions. Brandon Cooks was probably open 7 times, and pretty like nearly every time Josh went to him, he caught the football. Look, there was one that he just kind of overthrew him a bit, so obviously he didn't catch that one. But there was a throw on the sideline he was interfered with. He makes a sliding catch. The ball is perfectly placed in this man's like breadbasket to catch the football while sliding, out of bounds with the defender draped over top of him. And like Brandon Cooks is not a big guy, probably 5'9", 5'10", 190 pounds, 180 pounds, whatever. But that was a perfect throw and a perfect catch under duress into a very, very tight window. Keon Coleman with a big play, finding the window in cover 2. It was more like it looked more like a blown coverage assignment, but kudos to him for recognizing that he was by himself. Stop, show his numbers to his quarterback. Josh hits him, and he takes off downfield. A little late, like the reaction was a little late, but I chalk that up to kind of not really having a ton of playing time and being nervous about making a mistake. Like this kid, I think he's walking on eggshells right now.
Yep.
Obviously, it's his fault. I'm not, excusing him or trying to make an excuse for him. He brought this on himself. But ultimately, like, man, I just want to give these receivers credit. Terrell Shavers, Gabe Davis, like those guys made plays, despite those guys end up going down for the remainder of the year, and probably for a good amount of next year as well. But those guys made plays. Dalton Kincaid with a touchdown. Dawson Knox was available to Josh Allen. Jackson Halls was available to Josh Allen. Like these guys were out there. They made plays. They did their jobs. And for the national media, the tone, they say like, oh, he's got to do everything in order for them to be good, or for them to do anything, or for them to be successful. And yeah, maybe. I mean, but that's what it comes. That's what comes with the territory of being an elite quarterback. The whole notion that he has no help is foolish. Brandon
Mhm.
Cooks has been available to him against every top flight corner that we've played against over the back half of the season. He got wide open against Christian Gonzalez. He just dropped the football. He got wide open against what was the guy's name?
On Jacksonville.
Quinyon Mitchell. Wide
Yep.
open against Quinyon Mitchell. Makes the play. Makes a huge chunk play against Q. Quintanamo Bay is what they call it. These guys are making plays. Khalil Shakir led the league in yards after the catch last year. Like
Mhm.
Shakir's 12 targets wide open. And I mean
Mhm.
that number one, that's amazing. Like 12 targets, 12 receptions against one of the hardest hitting, fastest defenses I've ever seen on a football field is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Then on top of that, on top of that, it's like this guy's not, he's not a first round pick. It's just not a a top pedigree. He's not one of the
Mhm.
He's not from a blue blood program. He went to Boise State.
Yep.
He slipped in the draft. He went fifth round because of short arms and things like that. Like, I mean, he's not. These are not household names, but these are guys that are making themselves available. And 12 catches for 12 receptions off of 12 targets is huge, because how many times in the playoffs has our season come down to guys dropping the football? We had Trent Sherfield drop two balls that would have extended drives against Kansas City in a divisional game. We had Dawson Knox drop a pass in that same game, coming out of halftime, that would have extended a drive. We had Stephon Diggs drop a big ball in that game that would have changed probably the course of the way that game went. I mean, even though we did score in that drive, but that's a huge momentum play, and you're at home. Who knows where the game goes after that. So, Dalton Kincaid last year, you know, Spags and the Chiefs fool us with a blitz. Josh Allen does what he can to get the ball off, gets the ball into Kincaid's hand. What does Kincaid do? Drops the football. We're
Mhm.
stuck, So, um, when you have a guy like Shakir and Kincaid and these guys that are going to make plays, and they're going to catch the football and make guys miss, and turn and get a lot out of a little. That to me kills the whole argument of, well, there's no help. Nobody's doing it. Like, he's by himself. They're wasting his career. They're not getting him any help. How about that defense? Like, Trey White started the season as corner 4. He started the season as corner 4. You
Mhm.
know, Maxwell Harrison was supposed to be CB2. Dwayne Strong was supposed to be CB3. Um, those guys are out right now.
Mhm.
Maybe Max can come back. I don't know if Dorian Strong ever comes back. But Trey White is playing. Trey White is playing. Big time snaps, and he's playing really, really well. I think he's giving up a completion percentage of 44% when targeted. And he's getting
Wow.
targeted because on the other side is Christian Benford. You're not throwing at him. So just I just thought overall, like, the team played really, really well. You already brought up the whole Bosa thing. I'm not gonna belabor that point, because he was just doing cardio Sunday, and that was a bit annoying. Um,
Mhm.
but I will say this: I appreciate the contributions by Matt Milano and Zach Thompson,
Mhm.
as well as Terry Johnson. Like, those guys played admirably. Uh, they are all getting a little long in the tooth, and you're starting to see it. So, you know, we're not going to get into the draft right now, but J-Rod, Austin Romaine, you know what I'm saying? D'Angelo Pons, Keontae Scott.
Anyway,
Some of you guys might end up being Buffalo Bills, man, because
yep.
we need it. We need guys to step up, come in and step up. So, but overall, man, I thought McDermott and that defense did a masterful job of changing. Needs to be a safety. What are you talking about, Jared? What are you talking about? I think he's talking about Taron Johnson. I agree, man.
Yeah.
Taron Johnson go to safety immediately and be fine.
Yep.
Do you think because Broncos had weekend off, they're weaker? No, I don't.
No. Well, yeah, traditionally number one seeds really help with the bye week.
Yeah.
So that's
They got a great coach.
Yeah.
They got a great coach. Sean Payton's gonna have those guys prepared. I mean, he's had 2 weeks to prepare for the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are gonna come in and on the road, flying from east to west, which is a little easier than flying west to east. But
Yes,
flying
it is.
east to west and playing in elevated altitude in Denver, and like I said, they've had 2 weeks to prepare, so they've got, and mind you, on 5 days rest. Like we don't even get the benefit of a full week off. We played Sunday at 1:00, and now we're playing Saturday at 4:30.
Not great.
Yeah, which is really 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. So basically, they're getting a full 5 days. Not even a full 5 days. A little less than 5 days of actual rest and recovery time that they've got to put practice time and travel into. So
Yep. Well, I guess if there's a silver lining is that we sort of had a bye week against the Jets, the week before. Let's be honest. I mean, most of the guys sat, anyway.
Yeah.
So at least the core, the Joshes, the Deion Dawkins, some of our guys, did get an extended rest. I mean, Denver even almost had a bye week that week too. So they've been really off for almost 3 weeks. Sometimes that can hurt your momentum too. I remember years and years ago it happened to Denver in their Elway years where they took like a long bye. They had an undefeated year going. They lost to the Giants, and then they took like 2 bye weeks at the end, and they lost in the first round to the Jacksonville Jaguars of all teams at home. Not to say it's the same thing, but sometimes having too much time off, just to answer Essie's question, sometimes could be a detriment in that case, because I mean Denver really hasn't had a high leverage game in quite a while, really. So that could be a positive for the Bills going in here.
So from an X's and O's standpoint, the Denver Broncos, in the games that I watched, like they've gotten off to slow starts offensively. Defensively now they do a lot of things at the line of scrimmage that they're either going to be very effective or completely ineffective, and we're going to take a lot of advantage of it. They know going into that game that this is not a game that the Denver Broncos can just pin their ears back and just be physical. They can't just. They're not going to be able to out physical us up front. They're too small. Like that. That's not happening. But they can beat us with speed. I do think that they are a fast defense, and they're going to use scheme. They're going to use some of their stunts. They do a lot of stunts with their defensive line and linebackers. That could, that's either going to pose a problem that is going to be a problem all game, or the Bills are going to be on top of it, and it's going to end up hurting them, hurting the Denver Broncos. I like Aaron Cromer and Joe Brady to have those guys prepared for some of those stunts. This is a unit that's been together for 2 years now in a row, same unit, from left tackle to right tackle. So I expect them to be prepared for what Denver does up front, and to have a plan for it. Because that's the thing. Kurt Warner talks about it in his when he does content. Yeah,
Mhm.
have a pressure plan. Like you need to have a pressure plan. If Denver's gonna mug up the line with 4 down linemen and 2 backers, and they're just gonna put 5 in coverage. Yeah, okay, fine. Like we're gonna throw screens. We're gonna get the ball out quick. We're gonna throw those out routes to the tight end to Dalton Kincaid, and we're gonna force you to tackle in space. I will give Denver credit for this. They do tackle well mostly. But
Mhm.
they are a pretty solid tackling team. Not as good as they're not as good as Jacksonville, but
No.
they are a sound tackling team. But they do have some issues. Brandon Jones, their safety, he has double-digit missed tackle rate. Um, Patrick Surtain does as well, but I mean, he's a corner. I expect that. Um, So I mean, there are guys on the defensive line that have double-digit missed tackle rates as well.
Mhm.
So I'm expecting us to be able to do a little something with running the football. They have been run on as well, so I think we should be able to do that. But going into that game, man, I'm looking at that defensive line of, I mean, they got Jonah Ellis coming off the bench. Uh, what's his name? Zach Allen, the defensive end,
Yep.
John Franklin Myers,
Mhm.
DJ
Former Jet.
Jones,
Mhm.
Nick Benito. Yeah, yep, Nick Benito's out there, and I always forget. I think it's Jonathan Cooper is the other uh, outside linebacker.
I think so. Yeah. I'm
Yeah, I
actually
believe
gonna
that's his
verify that
name.
with you now.
If you're a Denver fan, feel free to
Yep.
correct me in the
Cooper.
comments, man. If you're on
Yep.
YouTube, correct me in the comments. I'm
Got it,
cool with
Whittle.
that. I'm not going to trip. It's Jonathan
No.
Cooper.
You're
Yeah,
on
I'm,
it,
I'm
Whittle.
doing this
Yep.
from memory, guys. I'm
I
not
know. I'm impressed. I'm
um,
impressed.
repeating it.
I have it in front of me
I'm
now,
not
so
doing
I
it
have
for
much bigger
I'm
advantage.
not doing it to impress. I'm just I try to
Whittle
watch a
just
lot of
does this
football,
because
man.
he can. Yep. So for
Try to
everyone
watch a lot
listening
of
for the first
football.
time, and for anybody listening for the first time, come back at us during the draft season. You're really gonna like it. Whittle's gonna get real deep on a lot of things. So I just want to put that out there for our first timers listening to like and subscribe, come back and talk to us about the draft. It's gonna be a
Yeah,
lot of fun.
and leave a comment.
Yep.
Leave a comment.
Mhm. Yep.
Um, y'all seem cool. The thing that I'm worried about is PJ Lock. Yeah, yeah. I was gonna bring up PJ Lock, but um, hey,
Hmm.
oh, Brandon Jones is on IR now. Okay, okay. So that's why we're
Wow.
seeing PJ Lock a lot more. All right, all right.
Ooh,
I
did
mean, what's
not
the
know
point of
that.
you bringing Brandon Jones up? I don't know, but yeah, that's a big deal. And I know Drake Greenlaw spent some time on the IR as well. I
Hmm.
know he's gonna play this week, but yeah, it's another thing to watch out for.
Yep.
Hufanga's playing really, really well. He came over from San Fran as a
Nice player. Very nice
safety,
safety.
former All Pro.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
um, not the best in coverage, but very physical
Yep.
tackler. Um, he can play in the box very, very well. He doesn't embarrass himself in coverage. You can play him in zone as well, but um, I think that this is a game where, for me watching Denver against the Jags and the Packers, and then I watched the Commanders game and the Raiders game. I watched all of those games over the last a couple of times. Um, they're gonna have to. In my opinion, I think they're gonna have to bring pressure. I think they're gonna have to blitz
Hmm.
and force Josh Allen to be pressured. He has a negative EPA per play when pressured, um, when blitzed, and throughout the season. Let me make sure I got it right because I had it. I can't quote summer sports as good as I can some of this other stuff. So, yeah, against the blitz,
Hmm.
Josh Allen's 10th in EPA, so they're gonna blitz. blitzing him is probably one of the ways you want to get to him, because when you don't pressure him, he's a demon. So I mean,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to do something, and this would be it. I think that's where you go. Yeah, he's got a negative EPA per play when pressured. So I expect him to send a number of guys. RJ, we are not doing that.
Oh no. That feels like
Blame Dale, bro. I'm
I
blaming
blame
Dale.
James Thomas or Dale. Yeah, one of the two,
James Thomas and Dale.
or a combination of the
Absolutely.
both.
Yeah, so like that's what I'm saying, man. You want to get pressure in Johnson's
Oh,
face. Sorry.
That's
Sorry.
that's an unfortunate typo right there. So that's
Right.
Just leave it for that for anybody in the comment section.
Yeah. So, but that's what I think you want to do. You want to get pressure in Johnson's face. You want to send extra guys. You want to force him to make a decision quick. And the other thing is you want to trust you. If I'm Denver, I want to trust my guys and say they don't have a strong wide receiver core. They don't have a strong pass catching group. The tight ends are pretty good, but outside of that, we should be fine, right? So bring pressure. Maybe you get Josh to make a mistake, and that could change the game a little bit.
Yep.
But and that's that's personally what I would do.
Absolutely. And on the other side of the ball, I would say, I mean, the one guy that I'm kind of concerned about, what's interesting is our third down defense this year, Whittle, right? We're number one on the road, but we're one of the worst teams at home, which is weird, right? But Cortland Sutton's top 5 on third down. I think he's got 28 catches. I think he's tied for 5th, in the league. So I think, he's a big receiver. He's a tough matchup. Was he 6'4", I believe?
Yeah.
Cortland Sutton. So, he's someone that we got to keep an eye on. Bo Nix is really his EPA is excellent in the fourth quarter. He's 3rd in the league for quarterbacks in the fourth quarter. First 3 quarters, he's only 22nd. So that's, again, there's some inconsistencies there. He's a younger quarterback. So I really think that's why it's imperative we get up in this game and we play from ahead, in this game, get to him early, and then we could take over with James Cook and our physicality. Those are why I think, you talked about slow starts. We've had our slow starts too this year. We got to be buttoned up and ready to go this week. I would love to get the ball first, score right away if they can. Again, just to establish playing from ahead, I think it'll play to our strengths. So we don't want to keep Bo Nix hanging around late, where he has shown an ability to play big. What's that?
I hate taking the ball first on the road, man.
No,
I do. I don't like it. I don't like it. And the reason why is because I think if you take the ball first on the road and don't score, I think that's such a momentum swing. Like that's for me personally. I feel like if you don't score and you take the ball first, you put yourself behind a possession. I don't like that, especially on the road. I would rather put the defense out there first, and like you said, Bo Nix has gotten off the slow start. I think if we can get a 3 and out, I think last week what I saw, and let me know if you agree with this. I think that there was an emphasis on not getting out to a slow start. I think there was an emphasis on, hey, listen, let's get going in the first quarter this game versus, letting those guys get up and trying to fight our way back and fight with this crowd. So
Yep.
I don't know if you feel that way, but I think if you get the opportunity, you kick the ball this game and you take it after halftime. And if I'm Denver, I'm taking the ball first. I'm going to take the ball first because historically,
I could hear our guy Kevin Massari right now. Saying we take the ball first. I could hear it. If I remember.
Yeah, I know.
But I got to look at the numbers this year.
He's playing a possession game. The more times you give your offense a chance to score, the better off. He's right from an analytics standpoint, but from the standpoint of momentum and just like feel for the game, I like the way our defense is playing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Denver's not a great uh they don't have a great ground attack. So I think if we give them the ball first and we manage to get them to punt,
Mm-hmm.
that maybe that takes the crowd out of it a little bit. Then it's up to the offense to keep the crowd out of it. You punt,
That's
you get them
true.
to punt, you get the ball, you drive down the field. Maybe you get an explosive from James Cook, or you get them to blitz. You know, they blitz you and you get a play downfield, you get a big penalty. That's the other thing. They are a very highly penalized team. Um, they get a lot of pass interference calls, mostly from
And who was the
Riley Moss.
referee this week, Whittle?
Oh yeah, Carl Sheffers. Yeah,
Carl
Sheffers.
Sheffers, who calls a
Yeah,
lot of defensive holdings and holdings in general. So that
yeah.
will be a key thing to look at. And like Ashley said too, she's right. We're definitely best in the second half. I mean, and maybe that leads to what you're saying about getting the double dip. I saw RJ said that as well. He'd rather defer and double dip, maybe because we have the highest point differential since 2000 of any team in the league in the second half, which is unbelievable. Think of all the great teams that we've seen over the years since 2000, and we're the best, right? So maybe in that case, you're selling me on it there. That we could certainly do that. In that case. So, see?
Hey, Dr. Cookie, listen. I love Riley Moss coming out in the draft. I thought Riley Moss was. I think Riley Moss is a good player. I think some of the flags that hit Riley Moss, I think they throw him because he is a white corner. I'm gonna be honest. I think because he's a white DB, they penalize the man.
Yeah,
But
happens.
especially like that Jags game, not the Jags game. I'm sorry. There was they gave up a 40-yard touchdown to Josh Jacobs in the Green Bay game. Well,
Mm-hmm.
the play right before that was a 3rd and 4 that they end up calling DPI on Riley Moss, and I watched that play over and over and over. I didn't see a DPI at all.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see anything. Just saw good coverage, physical but good coverage. I didn't think he did anything worthy of getting a flag from, and that instead of it being 4th down and the Packers punting, they get a big play off of a DPI, and next thing they score off of a big run off of Josh Jacobs. So hey, I'm hoping to see. That's what I'm hoping to see. I'm hoping to see the Bills get some explosives on the ground. I thought we did a very good job of running the football on them last year. Uh, I'm hoping that with the addition of I'm just going to speak it into existence. Mecole Hardman's going to end up playing. I think Mecole Hardman gets called up. He becomes your designated punt returner, and maybe Ray Davis continues to return kicks. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
I'm expecting a big, James Cook, Ray Davis, Reggie Gilliam, 22 personnel, 13 personnel, 6 offensive linemen type of performance, man. Like I'm looking forward to seeing,
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to seeing the big uglies up front moving people out the club, and James Cook, and company getting up the field for big chunks of yardage, man. I think this is a game we got to run 30 plus times. 30 plus times.
Absolutely. Yeah, I wanted to answer a couple things in the chat. We have a lot of great stuff coming in. Mark said something here about the elevation, right, in terms of gas. I did just a quick little deep dive on this, Whittle. Elevation is a significant issue in Denver. Reduced oxygen of about 17% less than sea level, leading to faster fatigue, breathlessness, higher heart rates, and decreased endurance. So, one of the big tips is to try to get in a day before. I haven't heard when we're flying in for this game. I wonder if they're going to go tomorrow. That could also negate some of that. So, of course, hydration and oxygen and things like that. I mean, we've played there before, so I do expect that our staff would be ready for it. But it could be, Mark, if you don't handle it correctly, it could be a little bit of an issue. I mean, in games that are this close, you got to make sure you negate every advantage that they could possibly have in that situation. I know when I interned with the New Jersey Devils, Whittle, when they played in Denver, that's the quickest they would ever get to a road game. They would go immediately. Like they would be out there quick because they wanted to acclimate to that thin air in Denver. I know, didn't Gilbert Arenas have some kind of thing in his house or something like that? I think that a tribute. He used to have something where he mimicked the thin air of Denver. So when he went to play in Denver, he was ready for it.
Okay. Oh wow.
Pretty awesome. Yeah, he had some kind of facility. I watched something about that. So that is somewhat of a factor. I do expect that the Bills will be ready for that. But yes, that is something to think about. And RJ said, is this your favorite Bills roster in the playoffs on paper? If you can find any in the last 5 years, like which one would you pick from the last 5 years, Whittle? If you had to take one of them.
Well, that 2023 roster I thought was like,
Yeah.
I thought that 2023 roster was it. That was the one for me, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just lost so many guys up for. I mean, we just had so many injuries, man. So many injuries. Yeah, it was so many injuries that year, and kind of robbed us of a big run. So, yeah, I think 2023 that was the one for me, man. That was the roster. That was the one.
I really like this roster. I mean, I know everybody obsesses about the wide receivers, but I just love how we are up front. I love the physicality. I love guys like Deion Walker on this team. I just feel like, again, the last couple of years, we've been more of a complete team. We don't have the quote unquote sexier names like Stephon Diggs on the outside like we used to, but we still produce at such a high level. Like you said, we're still top 5 offense. The way some of our fan base talks about these wide receivers, you think the Bills are plotting at 23rd in the NFL in total offense, but we're still top 5 unit despite all that. So, I mean, I think a lot of ways we choose not to do a lot from the outside. So, hey, it looks like, hey, you know what? Whittle,
Wow.
I'm about to take a victory lap, ladies and gentlemen, because yours truly went to the Philippines, a few weeks ago? We have Philippines Bills Mafia. Whittle, we are setting trends, ladies and gentlemen. So our weapons are better than Jacksonville. So how about that? Tor, thank you for joining us. Like and subscribe to us, please. Tell your friends. We want to set up a whole shop in the Philippines. That would be amazing. So, by the way, that game is actually a Sunday night game in the Philippines, just to show you the time difference over there. So, kudos, shout out to our friends in the Philippines. So that was awesome. So,
coast to coast going global.
Look at that, Whittle. Yeah, we're taking the coast a little bit further this time, all the way across that Pacific Ocean. So there we go.
And I'm telling you, bro. I just look at this team this year, man. Imagine if we had Diggs. Ooh. As if we had Stephon Diggs in this offense playing the Brandon Cooks role. Diggs was such a smooth route runner, man.
Yeah, he really was. That first year with Diggs, that first year with Diggs was awesome, though. I mean, because I think it was the first time we saw the Josh that we're seeing now, and I think it just had that. We were in COVID years. We we're all just kind of bored sitting home, and that team was just something that we really, really latched on to. From an excitement standpoint, that was probably the most exciting team we had.
Yeah, I spent most of the 2020 season with my hands on my head like this.
Yeah,
I can't believe it. Like Josh.
Look at Jarek. Yep, it's Cebu, Philippines. We have a Bills bar. Amazing. Look at that. Jarek dropping knowledge all over the place. Not only is he a draft savant, he's telling you what's in Cebu, Philippines. You gotta love it.
Yeah. Yeah, if Diggs would have stayed, we would have Diggs if we had Diggs this year coming off of like an ACL or whatever in that Cooks role. Oh, man. The way we've been running the football, the way that man just knows how to get open. I don't want to glaze too much, man, but that Josh Diggs combination was pretty lethal, man. So
yes, it was.
Maybe they find a smooth route runner like that in the offseason. Maybe out of Clemson, or maybe they're sitting on an NFL roster somewhere that we can go and grab. but there definitely needs to be some changes made, and we will get to that in
Absolutely.
the off. The other and the elevation thing that you bring up is a good point because that's RJ. That's a story for a space. Maybe we'll do a space tomorrow and talk about it.
You know what? That sounds like a splendid idea, Will. Let's make it happen. Make sure I get it. I want to invite to that one for sure. So
We'll do it for the
let's do
space
it.
tomorrow and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
What's
Yeah,
up, Big
sounds
Q?
good.
What's going on?
What's up, Q?
What was I saying? Yeah. So the other thing with the elevation that does worry me a little bit is the corner room, the corner group, right? It's Benford and it's Trey White. Dane Jackson's next, right? So, like, I think this is a game where you're actually going to have to play Dane Jackson. And I don't know if I'm ready for that. I'm hoping Terrell Bernard is good to go and he can play because I think we're gonna need some extra linebacking help. Even if it's just for like third down, coverage downs, things like that, we're gonna need him to come in and be fast and cover a lot of ground and make plays. Because you can't really trust Dorian Williams in coverage, right? Right.
No, absolutely not. Nope.
So I mean, this is where it is, man. I mean, on paper, I think this is a game that Denver should win. But in reality, this is a game the Buffalo Bills. This is a game that the Buffalo Bills were oh yeah, good. Q. I'm gonna put this.
Yeah, I was looking at that too.
Yeah, my son played Air Force Academy out there, and he said that the air out there made him really tired during the game. That's all the more reason why the Bills got to jump on these guys early, and you know, I get up on these guys early, get a double digit lead, and really start leaning on their front with the offensive line depth that we have. Like this is a game where I could see Spencer Brown coming out a couple of plays because the air is killing. You know what I'm saying? Like they better have the oxygen tanks ready. So for guys like Spencer Brown and some of our bigger guys. Speaking of bigger guys, we are getting some help back on the roster. Monday, Sean McDermott comes out and says the 21-day practice window was open for DeMar Hamlin, our safety, and defensive tackle Ed Oliver. And ladies and gentlemen, Ed Oliver was out of the red contact jersey. DeMar Hamlin was as well, and both are trending in the direction of playing Saturday. They were both full participants, and they were both full participants in practice. If you want to put the graphic up.
Yep.
For the
injuries. Yep. Here we go.
Yeah, the injury report. So yeah, as you can see, Josh Allen full. Like Josh Allen being a full participant in practice, it's kind of wild because you have
look at all on the report.
Knee, you got foot, knee, and his right finger all injured, all issues that he's kind of dealing with.
Don't you love how he said in his press conference, "Oh, I feel good. I haven't felt this good in weeks." He just gives you nothing, right?
Yeah, he's lying, but I mean it's fine.
Oh yeah.
DeMar Hamlin was a full participant. Matt Prater and Curtis Samuel full participants in practice. Where's Ed Oliver? Ed Oliver was limited. Oh, well,
still limited.
It was limited, but whatever. Like, I'm Matt Milano's limited, Donkey K's limited, Terrell Bernard and AJ and Rousseau are all limited. Shaq Thompson limited. I expect everybody that's limited to play Saturday. The only guy that I can see them potentially holding out for one more game would be Ed. But I think this is a game you need Ed to play. Does DeMar play on Saturday? I'm leaning towards yes. He does, unless they love Savage. I could see a scenario where Hamlin does play, Savage gets the start, and Hancock may be inactive or something to that effect. Maybe you go light at defensive end and you bring an extra, you keep an extra spot at corner just in case you need to use Hancock on the boundary. But I have no desire to see Jordan Hancock at safety this week. He was not good against the. He was not good on Sunday. He was not good on Sunday against the Jaguars. He gave up a couple of big plays, but it is what it is. Maybe he plays, maybe he doesn't. I mean, we're gonna. That's something to pay attention to. We will find out Friday. And then we'll go from there. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got, man. I don't want to belabor this too long.
Well, how about we get to the time of the show? How about we do game picks, ladies and gentlemen? So, should we start with the Bills game and then go around the rest of the league, or should we do the other three games first and then circle back to the Bills last? How would you like to play it?
Let's do a quick round. I'm gonna do if you want, I can do a quick run through of what's going on in the league. And
sure. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So a number of coaches have been fired over the last few days. Obviously Black Monday last week, and then Mike Tomlin stepped down after the Steelers Monday night loss. Listen,
that was
that is a
surprise
step down.
Monday.
That's not a firing. It's not a firing. It's a step down. Firing would have been he can go and coach wherever he wants, but he stepped down. They still control his rights, and he has informed teams that he has no desire to coach anywhere this upcoming season. So he's going to take a year off at least, probably get some TV money, and then if there's a team out there or a situation that he likes, he'll make himself available. The team will have to provide some sort of compensation to the Steelers for Mike Tomlin, probably in the form of some sort of, day 3 draft pick or whatever. And that'll be that. The John Harbaugh sweepstakes is heating up. Harbaugh is interviewed with the Giants. The Giants are doing their best to not let him leave the building without signing. So it's between the Giants and Atlanta. Those are really the spots that are really at the top of the list for Harbaugh, based on his list of requirements for his next position. Bunch of offensive coordinator spots that are open as well. Philly is looking to hire Mike McDaniel as their OC. It's him and somebody else. Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll and Mike McDaniel. Those are the two guys that they're looking to hire. Mike McDaniel, I think, is gonna cook. I think Mike McDaniel in that building with that roster. I think that's gonna go crazy next year if they actually sign him.
That may even mend fences with AJ Brown as well. That'll be interesting to see how that dynamic plays out as well. Between that.
Well, AJ Brown's not going anywhere. He's got a big that cap hit. So
it would have to be a tremendous fallout for them to move off of that. Yeah.
I don't think that they're interested in taking that level of a cap hit. So, but listen, that's why you have a head coach and a quarterback. Figure out a way to fix that, and if they get Mike McDaniel in there, Mike McDaniel will have that offense moving for sure.
Yep.
I don't think Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback. I think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. I think he can run that system. And I think that's going to really that system will maximize the heck out of Saquon Barkley. Like I think Saquon Barkley.
Oh yeah, they do need to fix their offensive line as well. They missed some pieces from last year. They probably
do they though? Like do they?
I mean,
like they just have a good offensive line now. I mean, it can't. Everything can't be perfect.
No. But they do
what
miss
they want. They want a perfect. Like they had a perfect offensive line. They had a perfect defense. When they won the Super Bowl, like that team was perfect outside of quarterback.
Yep.
Maybe that's what you need in order to. And shout out to the content creators, from Philly, who lie every day on social media about Jalen Hurts as an elite quarterback. He is not elite, guys.
I think he's very good, but I'm not. Yeah. Well,
he's
elite
good.
meaning
He's good. He's good. He's not elite. Like, come on, let that go. Let it go. He's a Chrysler 300, and they look like Phantoms until a Phantom pull up.
They're an elite organization. I'll say that they definitely are an elite organization.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What else we got? Arizona's still looking for somebody. I don't think that's a great spot to go to. They don't have a quarterback.
One of the worst owners in the league as well. One of the worst owners in football. He's terrible.
Yeah. What else? So Patriots advance. Justin Herbert. There's got to be a conversation had about Justin Herbert. I mean, it is being had now, but dog, those receivers that you have, the tight end, the running back. Yeah, I don't care how bad the offensive line is, bro.
You hear they call him the if
game and put up 3 points.
The if quarterback,
Mr. Hypothetical. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, if he did this, he's
he'll be 37. What if he gets this? What if he gets that? Right? We're gonna say that forever.
He gotta go. I think it's time for him to move on I think it's time to move on. He needs a fresh start, bro. I think he needs a fresh start. They fired Greg Roman, so we'll see with that. They fired Greg Roman, and guess who they're interviewing?
Who are they interviewing?
Former head coach at the University of Michigan, Sharon Moore.
Are they really? Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Harbaugh takes care of his people, but I mean, like, this dude was just in trouble for stalking his side chick and he lost his job for basically scoring on the job. Like,
yeah. Oh man. Well,
all right.
Hey.
Yeah, like that.
He hasn't forgotten the ability to coach. So.
Yeah, but look at what Q said. Send him charges, weapons to the Bills, bro. Can you imagine Josh Allen with Quentin? Like Quentin Johnson had a good year this year. Imagine Josh Allen with Quentin Johnson,
Lad McConkey.
Who they got a tight end? They got Colston Loveland, I think.
Nah, Chicago. I think that's Chicago's going.
Okay,
Loveland.
So then they got who did they get? Oh, Tyler Warren's in Indiana.
Yeah,
he's with the Colts. Tyler Warren's with the Colts. Loveland went to Chicago. Who did the Chargers get? Yeah,
at least
check our last one.
I'm on it. Let's see. Orlando Gatson.
Yeah, the kid from Syracuse.
Syracuse. Yep.
Syracuse. Yep.
6'5", 36. Yeah, he's a big guy.
Yeah. I mean, he's not really. He's a slot receiver more so than anything, but
yeah.
And then they still got what's old boy's name?
Keenan Allen.
Yeah, Keenan Allen.
Keenan
Like,
Allen's still doing his thing. Yeah, he's still
how
solid.
can't you score with that? I don't understand how you don't. I don't get how you only score 3 points off of that. Like, I'm probably going to have to go back and watch that game.
I get they lost a lot of their offensive line. I get that. They've had a lot of injuries. Then I think he's going to be a really good running back, but he's been hurt a lot. Losing Najee Harris didn't help either this year. I mean, the Chargers, the O-line issues didn't help, but I can't excuse 3 points from Justin Herbert based on the offensive line.
I'm sorry, bro. Like, you're an elite quarterback. Make it enough. Make it work.
Yeah, they only needed 20 points to win that game. Your defense gave you ample chances to win that game. They had several chances to come back there. So
maybe it's the coordinator. We'll find out next year.
I'm not so sure.
The Rams advance. Tight game. Screwed my parlay. I took them for 12.5. And they won by 3. So my parlay was destroyed. I took Rico Dowdle for a touchdown. He didn't score. I'm not even sure. He barely played, let alone scored. So who else? San Fran with that hatched up defense. They advance. They go into Philly and beat Philly. Brock Purdy is 2-0 against the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, 2-0 against them. So I give that man some credit. Chicago advances. They walk the Green Bay Packers down and beat them.
Can I tell you something, Whittle?
And then the Houston Texans embarrassed.
Yep. Oh, I told you. Hey, I called that one. I was all over Houston. And but I'll tell you one thing, Whittle, about Caleb Williams, right? I really haven't sat and watched him a lot until the other night. But I'll tell you, his release, it's different, Whittle.
He's got the it factor.
He does have the it factor 100%. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Josh and Mahomes, all kind of rolled into one in a different mix, right? It's so unbelievable. But the way it just, even I was watching my wife, she goes, "Wow!" Just the pop off that ball. He's going to be special, folks. He really, really is.
I just can't wait for him to stop painting his nails. Like, once he stops that, listen. You do what you want. I just think it's attention seeking. Yeah. Whatever. Like,
he doesn't need to do that. There's gonna be a point where he's gonna realize he doesn't need to.
He's the one, man. That kid is so good. Like, watching him play, it's just like something you know it when you see it. Whatever it is, he has it. Like, when you watch Josh, when you watch Josh in 2018, you're like, is this guy good? Like, is he gonna be one of the ones? And then 2019, you see it a few more times. It's like, this guy's kind of popping off the screen. And then 2020 he blows up. This is year 2 for Caleb. Year 3 is next year. Lamar Jackson has missed the playoffs. We may have to use the Rooney Rule and replace him with Caleb Williams. I mean, I'm serious, man. I'm sorry, man. Like, it might be time. We'll see next year. We'll see how it goes. But so I mean, that's really pretty much the coaching slate. Oh God, we're not doing that.
No. Well, listen, I'm sure he's not the first, but I'll just leave it at that. But
pretty sure he's not.
I'm pretty sure, and he won't be the last. So
I don't know that he is that. Anyway, I mean,
but just that talent. I was like, wow, that really stuck to me. But
so let's go through the game. We'll go through our game. We'll do the picks for our game last, but I want to go with the other games first.
Yep. And by the way, in the chat, give us your picks for these games too. Bring them on.
Yeah, absolutely. Games. San Fran and going into Seattle. Who you like?
I like the Seahawks in this game. I mean, San Francisco does have the coaching edge in terms of experience, roster. I mean, shout out to even Robert Saleh, former Jet coach, over in Florham Park, but showing his way. as a defensive coordinator. But I just think the Niners have too many guys out. Whittle, it's got to catch up to him. I mean, no George Kittle this week. I think is going to hurt. I love Seattle's defense. They're very tough at home. I give them the win here, like 27-17, something like that. Maybe a game where you think the Niners hang around a little bit, but then the Seahawks pull away late. A lot of pressure on Seattle in this game, though, for me, especially Sam Darnold, right? After what happened last year with him losing big against the Rams in the first round with the Vikings, and now here he is as a 1 seed. So he's got a lot to prove, and he really has to knock this win down and get to the NFC Championship game. What about you?
Trent Williams did not play the last time the Seahawks and the 49ers played. Trent Williams will be playing this game, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I believe. I want to check first before.
Yeah, I don't recall that.
Yep, Trent Williams returns to full participation in practice. Trent Williams will be playing on Sunday. McCaffrey's playing. I'm not going against the Niners here. I think the Niners are too prideful, bro. That's a prideful team. They've been here before, and we talked about this. Like, we talked about moments, man. We talked about moments, and sometimes the moment is too big for certain people. I think the moment's too big for Sam Darnold. I watched Sam Darnold since 2018. I actually watched him before when he was at USC. I never thought he had it. I never thought he had it. I just don't think he has it. I'm gonna go Niners in a close one. I'm gonna go Niners 24, Seattle 20. This is a game where I kind of feel like the Niners used the previous Seattle game as a scouting report for what they could possibly see against them in the playoffs. I think the Niners are going to find a way to win this game. And I think Sam Darnold's going to help them do it. So I got the Niners in that one. And I do think I think the Niners are going to – I got the Niners 24 over Seattle with 20. Next game, we'll go with the Patriots and Texans. Who you got? Who you like?
Well, yours truly back in August when we did our NFL previews, Whittle, I did pick a certain AFC championship game, and on one half of the side of the bracket, I did have the Houston Texans on there, and I have to stick with them. I'm not crazy about Nico Collins being possibly out this week. I don't know if Schefter, if he said likely out this week, but I think we still have to see whether he'll be out, so that could be a factor. But I just love the mojo of the Houston Texans right now. DeMeco Ryans is before our eyes becoming one of the best coaches in the NFL. CJ Stroud, he drives you crazy at times, but I think he could do enough. He did win on the road. Albeit, not it wasn't perfect or anything like that. Woody Marks, well, he's got to continue to run the ball like that. It's going to be tough though against New England to do that. I think they'll make Drake May force him into a couple mistakes this week, which I think Houston will flip into points. I think it's going to be a very low scoring game. I think you're looking at like 21-17, something along those lines, 20-17. A very, tight, uncomfortable game. RJ's going even bigger than me. I mean, 31-14. That's a lot. I'm going 20-17 Houston to advance to the AFC Championship game. So we got some others coming in, but that's my prediction on Houston. What about you, Whittle?
I'm taking New England. New England's got too many ways to score, and I always come back to for me. It's gonna this time of year is gonna come back to the quarterbacks, bro. And Drake May has a pressure plan. Like, there's a pressure plan in place for Drake May. We played against this kid twice. We've blitzed him. We've rushed 4. We've sent stunts. He has answers for all the questions a defense poses. He doesn't get rattled. Like, the kid, the first time I saw him get rattled was the game against us in Foxborough when when McDermott makes the call and drops Joey Bosa right into the lane of the mesh route that I think that was Diggs that was running.
Mm-hmm.
So that he took that off. That was the plan. We brought a stunt on the other side and dropped Bosa out in coverage, and he wasn't prepared for that. I
Mm-hmm.
think that Houston Houston does less of that than we do, so they're just depending on guys to get home. I think Drake May is going to find guys. I think Drake May is going to get guys, um, get guys the football quickly. This to me screams Stephon Diggs game, and a guy who can separate very very quickly, make plays. I think Diggs is going to be huge this game. They got to take shots downfield. Butte playing is going to be huge. I know he was banged. I know he's been banged up lately. I believe he played last week against the Chargers, but like you're going to need Butte downfield, especially on like Kamari Lassiter, who's not that fleet of foot. I'm sure they'll put Stingley on Diggs. It won't matter. Diggs will still get open, and he may not get a ton of yards after the catch, but Diggs is going to be the safety blanket, in my opinion, for Drake May. I got
Mm-hmm.
the uh, I got the Patriots 24, no 23, um, 23-13 over the Houston
Ooh.
Texans. I'm sorry, CJ Stroud has not been good in the playoffs. He hasn't, and the
No.
defense has consistently um, picked him up, and they've scored in these playoff wins for him. I don't think that the Patriots are going to turn the football over. Yes, it's an inexperienced team. They got a lot of young guys playing, but
Mm-hmm.
the head coach has a ton of experience. He's going to have those guys ready,
Okay.
and he will walk them through this moment. The offensive coordinator was the offensive coordinator for 5 championships. I want to say 5. I don't know if it was all 6, but I know he got at least 5. I, I'm rolling with him. Actually, no,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he was there for 5. I don't think he was there for 5. I know he's got a couple though. I would say
Yeah,
at
it
least
does.
3. He's probably got 3.
Yeah, I have to verify that, but I get what you mean. So hey, so what we are opposite on 2 games so far, 2 for 2. So for all you betters out there, bet accordingly. Don't go with yours truly. I'm usually wrong. So anyway, game number 3, Los Angeles Rams at the Chicago Bears. What say you, Whittle?
Oh, I'm sorry. Josh McDaniels has 6.
6?
Yeah, he was the
Wow.
OC for all 6.
Wow, that's crazy.
I don't want to say he was the OC. He was there for all 6.
He was maybe even a quarterback's coach or something, right? He was on the staff.
Yeah. So 01 through 08, he was with the Patriots. He left. He went to became the 01 through 08. Then 2009, 2010, he was the head coach with the Broncos. Then he went to the Rams as the OC and quarterbacks coach. Then he went back to the Patriots. Then he left for the Raiders, and he's back with the Patriots again. So yeah, he was there for all 6 Super Bowls. Oh, that's dope. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
He was the quarterbacks coach for the first season. Super Bowl. Yeah, so he was like quarterbacks coach, defensive assistant, whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's got 6. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Chicago and the Rams. I'll go first. Uh, Give me the Rams. Chicago does not have a good defense. The defense relies on turnovers. Um, so I'm going to take the Rams. I think, even though it's going to be cold and Stafford typically doesn't play well in the cold, I do think that the Rams can run the football. I think the Rams can run the football. Not like they're going to run the football and put up a bunch of points doing it, but they'll run it enough to keep the Chicago Bears defense. Honest. Chicago also lost TJ Edwards. Like, it's over for him this year. So that's a huge loss at linebacker. Um, I like the Rams in this spot, man. I give me the Rams in a tight game. I'm gonna go 27. Um, I'm gonna go 27-24 with Chicago just not being able to get it done. Or maybe I'll go 27-24 with the Rams driving down and kicking a game winning field goal in Soldier Field. But I like the Rams in this game. The experience, the coaches, the coaching staff, the quarterback. I like they're just to me there are too many advantages. And then on the other side, I know Chicago's offensive line has been better, but like that's a really impressive front that they have um, with the Rams and their secondary. Like I don't mind the safeties, Cam Curl and Cam Kitchens and Cam Curl and what's his name? Emmanuel Forbes out there. I mean, they got some guys out there like it's nothing to write home about, but they got a couple of guys out there. So yeah, I'm gonna go Rams. I'm gonna go Rams in a tight one, 27-24. Yeah, I got the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, everything kind of points to the Rams. You know, the experience, the quarterbacks, the receivers are unbelievable. Tight end room is great. You know, the pedigree. I mean, how about that interesting stat about Sean McVay? This is the 15th different team he's played in the playoffs. He's never played the same team twice, which is pretty amazing when you think about this is his 15th playoff game. So you have 2 Super Bowls and now 13 different NFC teams. So everything really points to the Rams. But Whittle, you said it. In rain and snow, Matthew Stafford in his last 10 games is 1-9 with 16 touchdowns and 11 picks. Now, I do understand a lot of that does come with Detroit, but it does show that Matthew Stafford can be a different quarterback in the elements. He did struggle last year against the Eagles in the snow. They're saying 55% chance of snow on Sunday. I mean, everything logically tells me the Rams, but there's something in my gut that tells me this is I'm not saying the Bears are going to be like the Commanders next year, but they feel like the Commanders this year. There's something special going on there right now. I think they're playing with house money. I love the mojo they have going on. I think Caleb Williams will be able to move around, improvise, make some big plays. They have great weapons down the field. I mean, Loveland's coming of age. They got great receivers. I just like what they got going on at home. And the Rams, I know it's week to week, but they didn't impress me that much against Carolina. Carolina moved the ball against them. I do expect the Bears to do the same. I know you're right. They're missing offensive linemen. They do have injuries. But I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears shocking the world and knocking out the LA Rams by 3 points, 31-28. I'm going to do the same score as RJ. Just going to flip. I'm actually doing the same exact pick. I like 31-28. So, yeah, I'm going to be the copycat on this one, RJ. So I really like that play. So, and you know, shout outs to the group chat. We got a lot of Bronco fans in here, Whittle. I mean, they have come out. I mean, I got to give them credit. They are here. So, and
make sure y'all come back next week after the loss, okay?
Yeah, come on back. We want to hear from you. Hey, is that a preview? So now we move to the main event. Broncos, Bills, Saturday, 4:30. I don't know the name of their stadium anymore. I forget all these sponsors. But anyway, I could go first. I'll give you the floor to close us out here on this Wednesday night. And again, like and subscribe to us. We appreciate you all. Over 350 listens tonight, Whittle. We're hopping tonight. So great to have you all here. First thing, we didn't talk about this, Whittle. Doesn't look like the forecast is going to be much of an issue. Winds 10, 20 miles an hour. About 40 degrees during the day on Saturday. So a little windy, but shouldn't really be a major issue, you know, especially for the Bills. And I'm confident, you know, it's a Matt Prater revenge game. We can look at that as well. So, you know, I think, you know, we got to look for any angle, right, Whittle? But anyway.
More revenge game from the practice.
Yeah. You're right. There you go. So, but yeah, I respect what the Denver Broncos are doing. You know, Sean Payton's a great coach. I like their roster. I like the direction they're going. Bo Nix is you know, he's erratic at times, but you know, he comes up big late in games. They're a fun team to watch at times. Very, you know, an excellent defense. You know, not really a lot of holes in particular. But Whittle, I just, you know, I just think the Buffalo Bills have that little moxie going this game. I think they're going to get off to a good start. I think our offensive line will be able to impose their will a little bit more this week against a very good Denver defense because of that size differential. Cook, we probably need about 80 or more to Cook. Will we need something like that? We can't have another 15 for 45. We will be playing with fire if we don't get more. I believe Ty Johnson will be back this week, so I do think that's going to be a lift. And I think Curtis Samuel is going to surprise some people this week, Whittle. I mean, he did have the injury to the elbow, but I think he's chomping the bit. And this is an opportunity, Whittle. Here's a guy that has been maligned with this team since he's come here. He's been a big disappointment. But you imagine if he comes up big this week, maybe a couple touchdowns or something big, he could flip the script right now. He could change everything. Same with Keon Coleman as well. All the things could be forgotten as we move forward. I just believe, we have 17. As Pierre, our friend on Buffalo Fanatic says, remember who we have. I always say that in my head during these games, and so true. And again, this is not a slight to the Denver Broncos, who I think are a franchise really moving in the right direction. I think they're going to be a menace in the AFC for quite a while. That's a good organization, good ownership. They're heading the right direction. But I got 20. I'm going to go 30-20. I think the Bills win this game by 10. And maybe it's a close game. Maybe it's 23-20, but I think we pull away late. And number 17 just adds to his legacy as we move into the AFC title game. And for me, it's going to be at Houston. But for you, let's see what your pick's going to be.
I have the Buffalo Bills winning this game by the score of 31-20. I think the Buffalo Bills get out to a 10-0 lead. I think the Bills established the ground game. I think the Bills established the ground game. I think that they fluster the Broncos offense early and get out to a little bit of a head start. But I do have the Broncos coming back and making it a game. I think this ends up being something like 24-10 going into the fourth quarter. And I think it ends up being like 24-10, something like that going into the fourth quarter. And I think that they put up some points. I think they go in and they put up another 10 and we get a late touchdown. But again, it comes down to, I do believe that we can run the football. I like our defense against what they do offensively. They want to throw the football down the field in spots, and I think we're fine with that. That's how we want them to throw the football, preferably down the middle of the field, not necessarily to the boundary. But if they do throw it to the boundary, I think we're comfortable with the way Trey White's been playing and the way Benford's been playing. I do worry about the Broncos being able to establish the run. I think that changes the math a little bit if they are. But if the Bills do a good job of dealing with the run, and I expect them to with Ed Oliver being back, that gives these young guys that are going to play a little more freedom to utilize more of their juice on early downs. Like at this point now, Daquan Jones can relax and say, you know what, Ed's here. They don't really need me on third down, so I'm just gonna give it what I have, in first and second down when I get called upon. And I love the way Fidarian Mathis played. TJ Sanders as well. I think TJ Sanders had a big TFL on Sunday. And I like the way Deion Walker's played all year. So I'm gonna go with the Bills 31-20. And we're headed to Foxborough.
Okay.
Where, for a chance to, the rubber match for a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Wow, that would be something.
Yeah.
I mean, just thinking about that back in August, if we would have said Bills New England for a chance to go to Santa Clara, I think I would have said that's crazy talk. No offense to New England.
Remember what I told you? I don't know if you remember, but I told you at the beginning of the year, I said this is the year. This is the revenge tour. I think this is the year we
Mhm.
slay. I think this is the year we slay all of the demons. This is the
Mhm.
season. I said that in August or whatever it was when when we were talking about the outlook for this season. I think this is the
Mhm.
year we slay all of the demons. I think
Yeah.
we go to Foxborough and Josh Allen slays the Stephon Diggs demon that's been hanging over his head. Um,
Mm.
we go to the Super Bowl that, and I think the Bills are gonna win the Super Bowl, man. I really
Wow.
think the Bills are gonna
Ooh.
finally win a Super Bowl. But it's 1 week at a time, and the goal this week is to go 1-0. So
Yep.
uh,
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
appreciate all the Denver fans in here.
Yes, we
I
do.
like everything that team has going on, except for quarterback. Everything else, though,
Ooh.
I think you guys are tough, man. I
Mhm.
love the Ingram edition as well. No, 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 we're not looking ahead. Like I just said,
No. No, we're not looking
I
at
don't know if
no.
you're
We
paying. I don't know if you're listening, but I just said the goal
nah.
is this week go 1-0. So, um, but yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna put this up. If we win 24-hour space, I think Whittle will have a 72-hour space after that one. I don't think
I don't know, bro.
I don't know if
I'm
he's
gonna
gonna
be in
sleep for
Buffalo
3
for the
days.
Super Bowl, man.
Yeah,
I'm most likely gonna be in Buffalo for the Super Bowl if I
okay.
can't, if I can't get to Santa Clara. So,
Yeah.
um,
Even though Santa Clara is just up the state, well, that's a long up the state. That's like 400 miles, but we'll I may have to maybe make some alternate plans as well. I mean that game ticket's gonna be enormous. I mean that thing's gonna be crazy. That's for the Leshans of the world. I can't roll with that.
ultimately, man, this is not a game that the Bills. I don't think that this is a game that the Bills can afford to lose. Like Josh Allen, it feels like he understands like he understands and he welcomes the
The challenge.
the enormity of the moment.
Oh,
I
it
believe
is.
that he
It is massive, Little. The pressure is on us.
think
Let's
he
let's let's be honest. It really, really is.
and I think Josh understands it and I think he accepts what it is. And dude, like you just keep thinking about that video that Brandon on Twitter made about, with Christopher Walken narrating, talking about nature videos and how actually, you know what? I'm
Hmm.
just gonna find it. Just gonna
You
find it.
got it.
Why don't we just do that, right?
Why not?
Let me see if I can pull it up. Give me 1 second, then we'll get out of your hair, guys. Hope it's his pin tweet. It is his pin tweet. Look at that. All right, guys. I'm gonna play some audio for you guys.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Hang out for 1 second, folks. Who do we think the player is that steps up big for not named Josh Allen? Uh, James Cook, brother. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna say that this is a Dalton Kincaid game because um they didn't really I don't think they utilized him a ton last game. And like Denver's not great against tight ends. Like I think that's an area that we can exploit them.
Hmm.
So
I
and
would
I
agree.
don't think that they and I don't believe that they can afford to take Surtain um off
Who's
of
he
Cook.
gonna? He's gonna be on Cooks.
Like he's probably gonna have to cover Cooks. Like I'm thinking that this is a Kincaid or Keon game where
Hmm.
one of those guys are gonna have a mismatch that they have to take advantage of. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at. But let's get this video out real quick, man. We'll
You watch those nature documentaries on the cable?
Yeah.
You see the one about lions?
Yeah.
Get this lion. He's the king of the jungle. Huge mane out there. He's laying down under a tree in the middle of Africa. He doesn't want to move. Now, they start messing with him, biting his tail, biting his ears. Now, the other animals, they notice this. And they start to move in. The jackals, hyenas, they're barking at him, laughing at him.
What's Josh Allen's excuse going to be this year?
They nip his toes and eat the food that's in his domain. They do this, and they get closer and closer and bolder, until one day, that lion gets up and tears the shit out of everybody. Runs like the wind, eats everything in his path. Because every once in a while, the lion has to show the jackals who he is.
I love it. I'm ready now.
Shout out to Brandon. That was
Yep.
bro.
That was awesome.
Clip,
It's
yeah,
great.
yeah. So shout out to him, man. But yeah, so that's where I'm at, man. It comes down to this time of year. It really truly is about quarterbacks. And yeah, Cartot, exactly. Chills. I'll send it in the group chat. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too. And I'd love to get that for sure.
Yeah, so listen, I think it comes down to quarterbacks at this time of the year. And I believe that our offensive line does an excellent job of protecting Josh Allen. I think that we're one of the best pass protecting offensive lines in the NFL. I think that rings true on Sunday. And Josh Allen, we're gonna have to run the football, and when we do have to throw the ball, they want to play zone, and when they don't play zone, Josh just has to be smart against man coverage, and I don't think that they're gonna turn. I don't think he's gonna turn the football over a bunch of times and make this game closer than it needs to be. I'm sorry, man. I like us on Sunday. We got the best quarterback in the league left. Like with the best guy still playing in the playoffs is Josh Allen. And I think that's enough. I think that's enough.
Absolutely. I'm ready for it.
Anything else, brother?
No, I'm ready. We're all ready for it. I want to say to everyone, enjoy the games this weekend, especially the Bills game. And let's just hope. And we are back next week to preview the 2025 AFC Championship game between the Bills and we'll see. But we're on opposite ends of that. So, and even RJ said,
if we win,
Josh is going to be a dad. That when we win, dad's strength is real. There we go. So hopefully he continues to use that. And again, I just hope he continues to play with the same cadence and the same responsibility he played with last week. And I think that's going to be an unstoppable force for us going forward. And he can reach back in the cape when he has to once in a while, because you need to make a few plays during a game, right? You're just not going to see it all the time, right? So as long as he picks his spots. And shout out to James Cook as well, the NFL rushing leader in the NFL. Let's not forget about number 4. And I think he'll make his name felt this weekend with 2 touchdowns, by the way. So he is my maybe one of my players of the week. I think he gets in the end zone a couple times. And yeah, we will win this week. And again, shout out to all the Denver fans. Want to shout out to everybody in the group chat. You guys are great. We're almost up to 400 listens, Whittle. It's been a great night. And we look forward to our AFC Championship preview next week, big and better than ever, wherever we play.
You guys can check us out going forward at Do Champions, or you can find us at Coast to Coast NJ Podcast on YouTube. That's where we will stream we usually stream every Wednesday. The last couple of Wednesdays, obviously, we've had other things going on that we could not be available. So next week we will win, lose, or draw. We will continue to be here on Wednesday nights throughout the off season, et cetera, et cetera. So we do draft stuff. We talk about talk a little basketball. The Celtics, you see where we are, right? You see
I
where the
know.
Celtics are, right?
I see it. Hey,
Right.
and you know what? Hey, shout out to the other team in Buffalo tonight. Now 14-2 in their last 16 hockey games. Sabres with a big 5-2 win over the Flyers tonight, playing some good hockey. So good to see the other guys across the way in Buffalo getting it done. So hopefully it'll be a banner year. Hopefully a Super Bowl for the Bills and the Sabres break that playoff drought, which would be phenomenal. I couldn't ask for more. So that would be great.
All you got to do is get in. Maybe the Sabres make a run. Never know.
Oh boy, well, let's not get crazy now, Whittle. That may be asking for a little too much. It's like asking for the Knicks to win a championship.
I'm a Rangers casual, so
yeah, they're getting blitzed every night right now. They're about to fold. So, but anyway, yeah, I got an eye on the Celtics. Believe me, we'll get into that a little bit after the season, and we'll start pivoting towards that. But for anybody listening, we have great stuff here for the draft all season. And and free agency stuff, but hopefully we got about a month where we really have to worry about it from our side of things. So, but just putting that out there, please like and subscribe to us so you can get the updates going forward. It's going to be a lot of fun this year.
Leave a comment, and then when the video will be up, and there's one for a good game on Saturday. I like this one. Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. Thank you, man.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Matt. Thank you,
man.
Listen,
we like he said, we do draft stuff. So, and we're definitely looking for input. So, if there are draft guys that you like that you want us to look into, they may not necessarily fit our team, but myself and a couple other guys that we frequently interact with, friends of ours, we do a lot. We watch a lot of film. We watch a lot of prospects. I'm actually gonna start doing that now. I got the little screen that magnifies your phone. So now when I'm at work, I can stick the phone on the
There you go.
Yeah, so I can work and watch film, and you know what I mean? I can multitask for you guys. So you definitely check us out. Like and subscribe at Do Champions, or like and subscribe through Coast to Coast Podcast. And Jay, you can find us on Twitter as well. I'm at Whittle2K on Twitter. He's at Beyond716. Yeah, man, and we'll do this every Wednesday at 9 p.m. And next season we'll get back to bringing in guests from the other teams and things like that. But this year, I felt like this year kind of just needed to be us, Buffalo versus the world. So hopefully, we get a Super Bowl. And change that. Twitter.
Yeah.
There's a W in there somewhere. Wow, Twitter.
Pause.
All right. With that being said,
I was due for one of those. Go Bills, everyone. Have a great night.
Go Bills.